Welcome to the Synced Up podcast, where we talk tech, digital media, and all things business. On this episode, we're going to be diving into how to make a great video, and I feel we've got the perfect person to do that with. So let's dive into it. So on this week, we're looking at how to make a great video, and I feel that this is a world that's not my expertise, but definitely in the Middlebrook Productions, Josh Middlebrook. We've got the man, the myth, the legend here. But before all of that, let's do a bit of a recap since our last episode. What we've been up to, how's things been? Josh, hit us.
The first thing that comes to mind is always going to be a running thing. So yesterday, I'll be quick on this one. Yesterday, I improved my 10K PB. So happy days. I'm very happy about this. Matt didn't seem to care too much, but that's because he's...
It was late at night when you told me. Come on. And I was random.
I was getting... Even Sarah put the thing on Strava and was just like, kudos to you. And I was like, where's Matt? Where's Matt? No, nothing from him. So
here it is in person.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
thanks. One day late.
If anyone is listening audio, I just thumbs him up, which is the equivalent of kudos in real life. And if you're not on Strava, kudos is just the version of like that you get in Strava, and it's just a thumbs up. It's the only option you get. You don't get multiple options. It's just thumbs up or not.
Yeah. If someone says they've gone through hell, you just like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Other than that, though, what have I done since our last episode? We talked about the holiday, so that's all that done. No, it's been a lot of the same. Working the CRM. Trying to talk. We've had quite a few inquiries come in, so we've been trying to figure out some fun new projects. More people in the podcast space, so there's going to be a lot more going on in here. So yeah, it's been busy. It's been busy compared to previous weeks. So how about you?
Nice. Well, business wise, had a interesting site project doing at the moment for an accountant that's they're very much stuck in the on-premise, still got an on-premise server, looking to go more cloud-based, move with the times a little bit, and mainly for the fact that their server's getting old. So I was able to take Jamie out with me to site, and we didn't need two people on site. It was just more of an opportunity to drag him out and get him off the support desk for a bit and do some, just have a bit of time on site with client and a bit more exposure for Jamie, and also an opportunity to work hands-on on a client site. So that was a good one this week. I've had quite a few like bitty little side projects or like little chunks of work for people, like helping someone set up a domain or helping somebody move emails from A to B, and like quite a few little, and somebody's laptop, they called me randomly. And I asked how they found me, and somebody had put our details on a random group chat in the town. And I don't know the person that did it. I don't know how they found out about us, but I'll take it. But their computer wouldn't boot, and they were panicking. Yeah. And so it was like, turn up on site, and turn up at it, which they had like a home office, turn up, panicking person, was able to get it working within about 10 minutes and then realized that there was a deeper issue. So I ended up bringing the device back home. But that feeling, it reminded me of why I do what I do, that feeling of when someone's upset or panicking or scared or whatever, and then you immediately or close to immediately resolve it and feel like you've accomplished something from both my side selfishly, and also that feel-good factor of helping somebody that needs help, right?
Yeah.
So I've had quite a few of those kind of things recently, which have been good. Last week was kind of a deload in terms of training, but I'm back on it this week, and I feel like I've been hit by a truck. So I've just come from from Pitchcroft, which is Worcester's race course where you can run around it. It's a good loop, but it's a windy day. And yeah, I've got in fact, I'm competing in a competition this weekend.
You haven't told me about that. What's this all about?
It's called HX1.
Okay. Never heard of it.
I think, I can't remember which gym it's at. They do it might be at Forders. I don't know, it's not Forders. They do it once a year, and they've adapted it over time, but it's effectively just some kind of like high intensity team. It's usually a team of 3.
Yeah.
doing like max distance ski, max distance row, or max distance run, and there'll be like a set series of stations you've got to complete, and it's like who can get the best time and on completing the set. It's awful. Like you're going to be at max effort for most of it. So I've realised that I've got that coming up on the weekend, which is
Have you got a good team together for it at least, or?
yeah. I mean,
I don't feel 100% convinced of that.
I see. I feel like the two people in my team are better than me.
Okay, wow.
And I've had a hard week of training.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want to just be able to turn up and not be a liability.
Yeah. Okay. What day is it? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday morning.
Oh God.
So I won't be a parkrun.
Fair enough.
Sorry. But yeah, no, great. Lots going on in our world and my side. So yeah, it's been a good week. But should we get into the main topic of the week?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get in.
Cool. So, how to make a great video. Obviously, this title sits in your camp, Josh.
Yeah.
And this is what you do day to day, your day in and day out. And I can talk around it a little bit, mainly because I've been through the process with you, but I would only have a sort of a small view from the client side of what you do. I've never seen operational, what goes on behind the scenes. What's your take on where do you start with? Like you get let's assume that I'm a company that wants some form of overview video or banner video or website video or something that's just going to be a little about who are we, what we do. How do you start engaging? How do you start?
Literally, the first thing I do is ask why.
Why?
Because a lot of people come, they'll ring us up, and at the point when they call us, they already know that they want a video, but they haven't necessarily thought about what it's going to achieve. So the first question is, why do you want a video? And which it sounds a bit abrupt and a bit like, why? Because we don't want it? No, it's because we need to know what they're trying to achieve, so then we can create something that's actually going to be useful to them.
I guess there's a few. What angles have you seen of why people want a video?
A lot of it will be to promote trust. So promoting trust, showing people that they're a real company, especially with like AI all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's one element of it. If they've got a product, then it might be to promote the product and chuck that out on socials, put it out on YouTube, or even just to have like something for the website so they can link it to a YouTube video and have it embedded on the website. And services as well. So showing what services they can provide, things like that. There's so many different elements. Like a podcast has a whole different purpose behind it. E-learning videos, so then they don't have to sit here and train people. They can have it pre-recorded and people can just log on and run that. So yeah, there's infinite options, but I'd say generally it's around the sort of trust, service, or product.
So let's role play it a little bit, I guess. Then, so I'm somebody that's approached you. You said, "Why do you want a video?" And I've said, "Well, we're trying to build trust with our audience. People that go on our website want to see a bit about, meet the team a little bit, see a bit of us in action, just promoting our. Let's say we're a service-based business, because I guess most businesses." Probably the watch list will be service based. There might be some people that are doing products even easier, I think, to define what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah, it's
we're showing what it does, or where
exactly.
you would use it.
We need to explain to people why they want
or
this.
why it's better quality or something, right? But assume it's service, because in that way it's a bit more complicated in that it's hard to get across to people what you offer, why you differentiate, right? And that's part of possibly that. So you've had the how conversation, or sorry, not the how, the why.
Yeah.
And then what's next?
So it all expands on the why. We really want to dig into like the whole. It is all about the purpose of this video or photos. So I do ask people if they've got some sort of measurement. If how would they like to sort of measure the success of it? Not everybody has an answer to this, and that's okay, because sometimes you can sort of see the success just through it being out there or people talking about it. That might be enough. But if you're a big company, you might want to know, you want to have some figures or some way of being like, this was worth the investment.
Yeah.
So it all the questions are sort of keyed around figuring out this why, figuring out a lot about the company as well. Because I don't necessarily say if you're, I don't know, an optician and you come to me, I'll be like, I have no idea how your business operates at all. So the initial conversations, I need to get a good understanding of what you do for your clients, what your clients value.
Yeah.
um,
Because I guess tone comes into it quite big as well, right? Because you can
yeah.
you don't really want some high octane drum and bass fueled video for an
Yeah,
opticians.
exactly. Yeah.
Whereas for a marketing agency, that might actually work if it's a bit more fun and upbeat,
Yeah.
right? So
It's understanding your audience. Yeah. So, I mean, we've done videos for a care home last year. So, in that sense, it
was
doesn't
that the
want to
drum and
be
bass?
like,
Was that on for that one?
what's that?
Was
Sorry.
the drum and bass on for the care home
Oh,
video?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
good,
like
good.
heavy drum and bass.
Yeah,
That's what they wanted. No. Well, interesting service they wanted though, which I'll get into in a sec. But yeah, the actual like video itself, it wanted to be calm, slow cuts because the people who are likely to be watching it now they're not necessarily the people going into care. It's going to be
to
their
the
friends and
families,
families,
yeah.
but even so, they're likely to be on the older sort of age group, where fast-paced stuff is it's just
No,
horrible
you want
to
it to
watch.
feel warm and friendly
Yeah,
and like it's a nurturing environment, right?
yeah,
So that would be,
exactly.
I guess, the key for that video. That would be the key tonal points, and
Yeah.
it's part of understanding, I guess, the business and their audience and who the video's aimed for that gets you that. And then I guess, do you then imagine it in your head and then just start filming? Or do
So
you
I used to be really bad when it was just me. I used to be really bad. Well, it's not a bad thing, but it was bad in a sense of how I used it. So I can sit and talk to somebody about what they do and what they sort of see as being a useful sort of product at the end, and I'm literally building it in my head.
yeah.
So during the conversation, I can pretty much have I can have a video in my head that we're going to create.
We're going to do that shot, then we're going to transition to that angle, then we're going to have
Yeah.
this person talking. You can literally almost foresee how it's going to look.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, the bad thing about, well, the thing I did that was bad was I would then start immediately telling people about what was in my head, which seems like a great thing. But actually, what I haven't done is then gone back, process it all, process what they've talked about, and be like, is that the best thing? Because that's the first thing that came to my head. And like with any idea, is the first idea that comes to your head the best one? Not necessarily.
So, do you have a sounding board for
So
how you talk? Do you talk through those ideas with somebody?
yeah, so we'll talk about it in the office. I like to get everyone involved because
Yeah.
we're all creatives.
Yeah.
So I'll bring the idea to the table and we'll sit in here. We'll be like, right, this
Mic's
is what
out
they've
the way.
described.
Let's
Yeah,
get the
yeah, chuck the
graphs out.
mics out, get the cameras off the table. And we just go through the ideas. We'll look at a lot of, so we want to know what their competitors are up to. So see what they're doing, see what they're making, because if we're not making something that's better than that, then we're not doing our job. And then we also want to look at sort of inspiring things. So even like TV shows, and we'll look for things that are just a bit unique and think, even if it's just like a specific shot that somebody's used somewhere, and you're like, that was a really cool effect. How can we use something like that to do like a transition in this one? So that's sort of bringing in, not, those aren't necessarily even like required parts to this. It's just like this is what's going to make it brilliant.
You want it to pop, don't you? You want it to either be a key moment or a good flow, or people to watch it and think, oh, that's pleasurable to watch, or that was quite
and memorable.
memorable.
You want people to go away talking about it. That is like the goal with this. So I love it when people keep talking to me about something we've made, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw that video. I saw it the other day, and then someone else was talking to me about it." And I'm like, "That's when we know we've done a good job."
What was the unique requirement for the care home?
So they knew that they wanted to do an FPV fly around.
Oh,
So a drone that flies through as a single shot.
so FPV is first person view.
Yeah. Which weirdly, it's basically what you see as the person flying
It's
it.
basically a camera on a drone that flies around, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
or in the old school days, a man running around with a camera going.
Yeah, yeah,
not as cool.
Yeah, and it's that I found really interesting, and we did sort of go down there. Are you sure? Like, because this might not necessarily be perfect for your audience, and they were like, "No, we want to be really different. We want to do this."
Well, I think it can actually be quite striking. I get why they wanted to do it, because I think if the whole idea of doing this visual storytell for this care home, and you're trying to inspire people of why it's this warm, good place to look after your loved ones, that actually having that almost like view shot where they're going around, you can see conversations happening, you can see people being looked after, you can see the environment, and it's almost like its natural habitat. Then I think that is quite it draws you in almost.
Yeah,
which I think that's what the angle they were going for, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, once we sort of figured out all of the how do we show all of those little elements within an FPV drone fly through, and it all came together. But I found it interesting because I wouldn't have probably put them down that route.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't have expected them to want something like that.
Yeah,
but then coming with that, I was like, wow, okay, no, this could be really interesting.
So that raises a good point then. So if you're interested in getting a video, right? And I guess if you bring ideas, if you've almost like think what you want it to look like yourself, because would you prefer a customer that has some ideas or comes to the party with thoughts like the care home did with the fly through, or would you prefer to get them to go, no, I've got this, you shut up, I'll do what I want? Or do you want a little bit?
I think both is nice for different reasons. Now, if you have a client, if you had somebody who didn't know what they wanted but was going to be really critical about what they see, that's quite difficult because they haven't told you anything that they want.
Yeah.
And you've got to guess what sort of they're going to like.
Yeah.
That can be quite hard. But I would say that I think one of the best videos that I can think of right now that comes to mind, that was created very much on we've seen something that you've made, we like that, can you just make something like that for us? And they didn't really, we'll look at their brand guidelines, we get an understanding of what it looks like. And this was all a motion graphics video, so it's all about graphics.
Yeah.
So we're only using like website brand guidelines as a reference. Other than that, they were sort of just like, yeah, just go nuts. And that's hard when you've got like a blank canvas in front of you and they're like, yeah, just make something brilliant. And it's like, okay, we will. And we did, which was awesome. And they were super, super happy with it. It's probably my favorite video from last year as well.
I don't know if this is if it breaks any rules, but it'd be cool if how hard is it to embed a few like videos in the description of the
I can probably, as long as I'll check that it's live on their website, but as long as it's live on their website, I can't, there won't be an issue because obviously they're happy to share.
It'd be cool to see a bit of a mix of the different styles of videos that you've done.
Yeah.
And I guess the other side of it is if you have drawn inspiration, let's say you've seen I don't know, an advert for hobnobs or something, and it had a certain style that you were trying to thought, actually, that's a really cool where they showed their back office or whatever.
Yeah.
At the hobnob factory. Biscuits are on the brain today.
Yeah. Matt came in and brought about 12 packs of various different biscuits as he came into the office.
There is a reason I did that. It was, and I'm not going to tell you. No. There was, I was doing an education slot this morning, and weirdly, a couple of weeks ago, the theme was biscuits of the meeting. Not a planned theme, it just ended up coming up a lot. So I thought I'll do my education slot on biscuits, and I've just went into the supermarket and bought as many as I could.
That's awesome.
Of all the different types, and because it was a breakfast meeting,
yeah,
everybody could have a cup of tea or coffee with a selected biscuit. So I thought it'd be something memorable.
That's
and
brilliant.
Fun.
But based on the amount of non-opened packets, not many people
are too tame. They should have gone for it. Like someone brought me a barrel of biscuits,
Yeah.
I'd be.
It's not like they're there every week.
No, I know.
Anyway.
Anyway, enough digressing. Yeah, so diving back in. So they've come to the table, you've got some ideas, you've started to draw those ideas out in the office, you've had a bit of an internal meeting about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the bit that surprised me the most is when we did our video, you were like, well, we're going to do we need 3 different locations. We need a location like this, a location like this. And I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? Why not just do everything on green screen or something like? And you're like, no, because we need to, like, it's going to have different energy. We're going to use it for different scenes. It gives the video it makes the...
It's quite good actually using yours as a bit of like a use case, especially around locations. So I'll jump back just to cover the step because it's in my mind.
Go on.
Storyboarding. So once we've had all those conversations and we're all clear as to something that we want to pitch and put forward, then we'll put together like a storyboard, which is it's effectively, if people haven't seen it before, it's a string of images that sort of represent video shots that you're going to do.
With text?
With text, yeah. We'll often
the scene or something.
Yeah, the scene, if there's any different camera motions, you can be really specific on it. If there's going to be voiceover, you might put the actual wording that's going to be over that shot and go into the next shot. So it's to help people visualize what we see, because at the end of the day, if we didn't do that step and then we turned up and we're like, right, we're going to do this shot, and they're like, oh, we don't like that, we don't understand why it's necessary. That's not a good time to be figuring that out when you've got all the kit, all the people, potentially actors, and
So would you present the storyboard to the client?
Yes, yeah. So we want the client to see the storyboard, and that might go through various amends as well, because we use the storyboard as almost like a tick list on the shoot day. So if we make sure that the storyboard is pin perfect, then on the shoot day, we're like, right, this shot here, we know exactly where that's going to be. It's going to be with these people, and it's going to be here, and it's going to look like this.
I've got a question that might sound stupid. Would you quote somebody before you do a storyboard, or does the storyboard become a version of the quote? So at what point do you say, because at some point you need to figure out yourself how much this is going to cost the client or the potential client, because we now understand what they want. So you've probably had the discovery conversation and you've figured it all out. So would you do a quote pre-storyboard, or would you do like a storyboard and a quote at the same time?
We'll do the quote after we've sat down and really broken down the idea. Yeah. So the idea is more in our heads, but we haven't put it down on paper yet.
Yeah.
And it's at that point that we'll put a quote together, because storyboarding itself is quite an intensive...
I was going to say, that's a lot of upfront effort if people go, no.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also if from like protecting the business side of it, if we put a storyboard together and they go no, they could take the storyboard.
Thank you very much.
And they could go get a team together and sort it out themselves. So it's sort of like that protects us a little bit. We know that we've got a good idea and we'll pitch it to you, but the idea could change, and you don't always get quotes right. But over however many years we've been doing it, we've gotten quite good at getting pretty accurate with quoting. So don't worry too much.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I just thought, because I like to, when I take this role, if it's your thing, I like to think from like I have been through the process, but it's a long time ago. But yeah, just to kind of like, what would I be thinking in that when listening to you talk?
Yeah.
And what questions would I be having? So, okay, you've done the storyboards phase, they've quoted, accepted, gone through the storyboard.
We started talking about locations, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, so yeah, for your video, I remember specifically because we talked about originally using one location. So this is like a hot desking workspace location, and they've got loads of different rooms and layouts. I know that place, and the one thing that worried me about that was it's not like a sort of like a clinical white environment that we could dress easily. It was quite, I guess, like branded to itself in terms of the color that was more like a mint green.
Yeah.
And I was like, we could do that for a few shots, but if we do that for every shot, it's going to be really obvious that everything in this video is done in the same location. And we're obviously talking about, we wanted to see elements of you guys working and being sort of back end, and then also being out with clients. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to have the feel of us ever leaving one singular place. So what that does is, it, for people watching it, is they might sort of think, it might be as simple as they suddenly think that the only way they get their IT problem solved is they have to come to you because that's your office.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to sort of make people think that way. So hence we suggested like having multiple locations and make things look really different. So it is, every client that we're visiting in the video is a completely different client, because people will make up what they want from a shot. They'll make up their own story around the shot. So you're just trying to guide people and be like, this is somewhere that is completely different to where we've just been, and it's really obvious. And even
not every video needs the different locations, or you use it based on what you're trying to achieve in the video, I take it then.
Sometimes location will be obvious as to whether it's going to be somewhere scenic outdoors or just a simple office space. But I'll often encourage people, especially around, because we do a lot of like B2B, so we're always talking around like office spaces. I always talk to people about, don't look at if you wanted to present yourself and this is what your office looks like, I say to people, well, okay, where you want to be in a couple of years' time, is that how you'd want your office to look? Is that how you want the setup to look? Because ultimately you want to promote what you want to be as opposed to what you are right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes people might have an older office. It might need a bit of work, but they're like, oh yeah, but next year we're going to get up like a brand new office and it's going to have like glass everywhere. I'm like, well, let's film in that sort of location. It doesn't have to be the exact office you're going to be in, because you're just giving people an idea of how you look.
Yeah.
But if that's how you see yourself looking very soon, that's what you want it to look like, not in the older building that sort of says like, oh, this is our history and this is how we're just about getting to the point where we want to make the next step.
Yeah, I get it. And also you want to be a video that doesn't outdate immediately. And
yeah, exactly.
You've invested in it, you're promoting it, and then you're like, oh, well, that looks nothing like what we are these days and where we work and how we are.
Yeah, so it's almost it like the nicest sort of situation is where people have just moved into a new office, and that's why there's sort of the big drive on like website and updating everything, and you're like, great, this is perfect then, because this is how you want to be seen now, so let's promote it.
So how does like the music and like transitions work? So transition is obviously going from one scene to the next.
Yeah.
Do you have those sorts of ideas? Is that part of the storyboarding process? Have you thought about how the scenes are going to go from like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and what music's going to be in the background, or voiceover work or anything like that? Because basically it's just, images and words and voice, right?
Yeah. So obviously we don't make music. I played guitar when I was about 12, and I played guitar.
Josh, the team's coming up. Get the trumpet out.
Yeah, we want you to make an entire orchestral piece.
No.
So we've got access to some stock media libraries where we can get like lots of like hundreds of different audio pieces, including sound effects as well, if ever people need those. It's quite rare.
Yeah.
And same with voiceover artists. Like we, over the years, so we've used various different areas, but we sort of collect, because once you worked with people, you're like, oh, these people were really good. So we sort of collect voiceover artists. And
have you got your X Factor style voiceover artist? Introducing!
I know one.
You still want just something over the top and launching something crazy, and I want X Factor style of introduction.
Yeah, it's
big
all
giant words on the screen coming up soon.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, we had just before Christmas, I might have mentioned it in a previous podcast, but we had someone wanted the TV show 24.
Yes, Jack Bauer.
Yeah. They wanted just an edit done in the style of that.
No way. No way.
It was quite a cool.
Is it on? Is it on?
It's
the
not.
website?
We can't put it live because it was an internal piece.
This guy
So I
keeps
know.
teasing us.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're the
I mean-
biggest tease.
I mean, it was not filmed by us. It was filmed by them. I would say on an iPhone, but based on the quality, I think it was filmed on like a handheld camcorder from the
A
90s.
potato.
Yeah, it was terrible, the footage, but we could still do the effects and stuff and bring it together. And you're obviously adding in like voiceover, which is
Because
quite fun.
The other cool thing is, so if you like take away the actual video camera side of it and you're filming scenes in locations and stuff, obviously a huge part of making a video great is then putting it together, the edit, right?
Yeah.
And that can include animation, because I know
Yeah.
you guys do animation and graphics work and that kind of stuff. I think I was really mesmerized when you did your brand reveal video, and I
Yeah.
definitely think you should link that as well
Okay.
in
Yeah.
the description, because you've got the rights to to
Yeah.
release that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the way you like animated the logo, you brought the text on the screen, the music behind it, and it wasn't just like shots of people moving around or doing. It was like it had an
Yeah.
energy about it, had graphical work in it, and it can those sort of things can really bring a video to life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brand reveals are they have you got a favorite type of video? Because brand reveals seem pretty, or brand changes, or like they seem quite a cool one.
Yeah, that was definitely that style of brand reveal. Oh, that was good. And we did another one off the back of it, which was my favorite one, which I'll see if I can link.
Yeah, is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm sure that there would be no issues with you revealing that one, because that's cool.
Yeah. So hopefully I can put that one in as well. And you'll see the two, and you'll see sort of why they saw our brand reveal and went, we want that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care how you do it, we just want that. We're like, okay.
It annoys me because like when I go look at my services, look how good we are, and you'll just see crickets or tumbleweed going through an office. It's just working seamlessly, right?
Yeah.
And with no evidence, no anything, it's working and it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
Your end result of products and services, when you've done work, is you get some really cool like photos, videos, animations. Look at this, and just press play, and it's just like epicness, like you're creating stuff, right?
It's like, for you, the best result that you can generate is calm and quiet.
I know.
For me, the best result is
noise.
like pure energy and excitement.
Noise, excitement, people sharing, and so it's quite funny and polar opposite. Really, our end result is just complete opposites.
Maybe if we work together, then we can control work environments. And it's like, do you need high energy or do you need calm? IT or video?
So are there any other bits around, like, I mean, I've tried to guide, I guess, around this. But are there any other bits that you think that we haven't spoke about in terms of like making a video great, making a great video through the process? Because obviously you guys do it a bit more than me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we sort of breezed over like the audio side of things and selecting that out. All of these elements, you have to go through and think about. You always going back to those initial questions of why are we doing it? So the music is going to be right. What audience is it to? What are they going to want to hear? Do they want to hear epic drum and bass? Does it want to be nice and calm and classical? That's everything you're doing is plugging into that. Even, are you voiceover? Are you not voiceover? Because that can change it. So we often do. So having just a voiceover, sort of a faceless voiceover, is one method, and that can that's where the voice itself is going to drive the story. The other option is, do you do sort of an interview?
Yeah, where somebody's talking and then they can carry on talking and then shots are coming in and out, right?
And I feel like that is more like genuine and trustworthy. But at the same time, you want those people to be in the business. So if people aren't confident on camera and that comes across, it's not necessarily a good look.
Yeah.
So you've got to pick and choose based on like who you're talking to and their industries. So yeah, it all really, in essence, everything we do boils down to how well it was planned out.
Yeah.
The execution, I do say to people, in terms of filming, if you had, I think like the original Star Wars is a good example of this. They sort of, the film, I mean, it's all good, but I mean, if you had terrible footage and you gave it to a great editor, you'll end up with something great. If you had great filmmakers and a terrible editor, you're probably going to end up with rubbish.
Yeah.
So really, the editing side to us becomes super key.
And what you're saying is the magic is how you put it. It's the planning initially, but also how you put it together in the end.
Yeah.
The end result.
And obviously, you want every single step to be fantastic. I'm not saying do a terrible job filming.
Yeah, so don't go around filming on your iPhone 8, getting all the shots, and then go, there you go. You said you could put it. You said you could do magic.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the importance of like good editing is critical if you want something decent in the end product. Because I've had a lot of people who will ask us to film something and they'll be like, oh, we'll just get some random person I know to edit it. And then you see what they've put together and you're like, there's so much more that could have been done with that. And it really,
it's almost like you want to edit it and show you this is what it should be like.
Yeah, it's keeping it back on the plan really. And if your editor followed the storyboard, then it's probably still going to be somewhere in the right realms.
Yeah.
But if they missed the mark, you might as well have not bothered. You might as well not bother planning it.
Yeah.
So it really is like everything sort of coming together as one and always going back to that initial plan. You can't plan enough. And that's the same for pretty any industry. The more planning you do, the better result you're going to get. And it's the same for video. So.
What's your normal sort of time frame on obviously, and I understand that it does vary wildly.
How long is a piece
depending on where your locations are going to be and who's involved and how it's going to be put together. But let's say normal workflow from either an initial conversation to delivered result. What sort of time frame is the average project for you?
I would say you'd probably look at from initial conversation to final delivery. It could be if it was on our time frame, it'd probably be 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, if people want 1 month, that's equally doable.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking more in a sense of where we have overlapping projects. So we're putting time into each one. If people are like, we need you solidly on this project, you can do things in a couple of weeks, but it's much more intensive. It's much more like I need responses to emails immediately so we can plan this out. And if we need people, actors and voiceover artists, we need time to speak to them and get them on board. And so
because there's a lot of moving. That's fair to say. I mean, excuse the pun, but there's lots of moving pieces in your work, right?
Yeah.
In terms of people, cameras, and we haven't even spoke about the tech and equipment that goes into the back end of it. And probably I still think we should do. Josh is unsure whether you guys want to see some tech and equipment style like breakdowns or understanding or demystifying and all that. But I reckon it'd be cool to do as one of them. Why not? Just let's go full tech, full geek mode. But anyway, yeah, because you need, obviously when you're planning the shots, you know what cameras you need, and you'll select like, do you need a drone involved? Do you need multiple drones? Do you need an indoor drone and whatever? Yeah. And all the actors and people. So there's a lot of moving parts in it, and you're going to go through a phase, right? You go through your planning into your delivery phase where you're collecting the shots, and then you find out your editing phase, right? So all of these things take time. You can condense it down if you need to, but normally you'd take people through it in a non-rushed, in a planned way where you can book spaces if you need to, you can book people if you need to, you can arrange with their workforce if they're going to be involved in having to be available for a few hours because you're in shooting on that day, etc., right?
Exactly. Even just having spaces available, especially in people's offices. I've had that before where we knew we were going to use a boardroom and then the boardroom was in use and suddenly
no, you go in like rock stars and you go, get out. We're in today. Forget your business meeting. So I think, Josh, your task then is to find any and every cool link that you can find to show people in the description, like, and I'll make sure I put the links you send in the description, right?
Yeah,
so if
okay.
people want to actually see, and I want to, if you can, do something that's wildly different.
Yeah,
Do
okay.
one where there's like a talking person that's like narrating over, and then different scenes, and then one where it's just like full energy brand reveal.
Yeah.
And then something like the care home one, if you can. Do you know what I mean? If there's anything like that, give us a mix, because it's a really visual thing, and it's so cool to see the end result. And when you're watching these, think about how they're made. Like, think about the shots that have been having to do, and it's just I see what Josh does as magic. I'm a bit of a techie nerd anyway. I love the editing process. I love watching it and seeing and watching Jack put his clips to get
I mean, that is magic, I think.
It's the closest damn thing to magic I've ever seen. But anyway, on that note, let's go into the questions. So this is the part of the podcast where we answer viewer questions, or if we haven't had any, we'll ask questions that we randomly throw together and panic at the last second. But if you have got any questions, feel free to email in podcast@synced-up.co.uk, and we'll make sure they try and feature in the next week's episode. Josh, have you got a question for...
I have an extremely random question for you.
Excellent.
I think this is partly based off the fact that we just talked about Jack in the very end of the last segment.
Okay.
So then I was like, what sort of questions would Jack ask?
Oh no. I've seen some of those.
It's not too horrendous.
Okay.
Okay. If you had to lose one sense, what would it be?
Smell.
Yeah. Okay.
Smell is, I mean, it's not going to be sight, is it?
Definitely. Well, it's not going to be sight, and probably not.
Hearing is kind of, I mean, smelling is useful, and I think it does affect taste, and taste affects smell.
Technically, you would lose taste if you lost smell as well.
Well, if I lose taste, then food just becomes fuel, doesn't it? At that point, if you can't taste anything, then all food becomes functional.
What if you just lose taste, though, and you could keep smell?
Well, I prefer tasting tough stuff to smelling stuff, because a lot of the smells you experience are not great.
I was.
Most of the time you're smelling something, you're not going, that's a nice smell. You're like, someone's done something. Or, oh, great, there's a farm nearby.
That was what happened yesterday on my run. I was like, you're breathing heavily, and you're like, oh no, they've spread muck on the fields.
There's a farm near us, and my son likes to go there to get these special like milkshake things that they do, and they've got cows, and it is just it like makes your eyes water. It is so bad. So yeah, most of the time you're smelling things, it's because it's a bad experience. Unless you're eating or drinking, obviously.
Oh, I'm glad I asked that question.
Now, this is my question is because I've done it yesterday. I've just ordered a new laptop.
Okay.
Because I'm sick of mine.
Yours isn't even that old, is it?
No, it's not even that old. Hate it.
Why?
It's too little.
Okay.
I thought portability, I'm going to be that guy that gets my sleek laptop out in a coffee shop. Hate it. It's too little. Doesn't do what I want. Like, I like things big. Is what I've realised in my life. I like big lattes. I like big screens. Take that as you will. So I'm going to gift that laptop to somebody. And I've ordered my own one. So my question to you,
okay,
and you can't. You can. What kind of laptop would you look at if you were to buy one? If I forced you to buy one today, what are you going to do?
If the way I look for these things now, it's all based on the screen quality.
Really?
Yeah.
Screen quality.
Yeah.
Is your number one
because it's so important for me for color grading and things like that. Like my Dell. I think they designed the screen on a muddy puddle because it's like the colors on it are terrible.
Sorry, Dell, but the laptop I'm getting out is a Dell, right? And no, I've seen great Dells. I'm colorblind, so I can't comment on the color side of it. But
yeah. I'm sure they've improved them since. It's quite an old laptop now, but yeah, even everything I do with those computers, I'm like, how good are the screens? I need to be able to see true color.
Because funny enough, on a laptop,
Yeah.
you are invested in that screen, right?
Yeah, you're locked in.
You're locked in full because can't replace the screen.
Yeah.
If you could, it's a real expensive thing,
God,
and it probably won't, and it'll probably end up, causing loads of other issues.
Yeah, you could probably only replace it with the same screen again. So if it was terrible to start with, it's going to remain terrible.
That's one of the good things about a tower, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a desktop, you can always replace. You can put any screen you want on it. You can put a 50-inch on it if you really want to.
Yeah.
Any hertz, any color quality and stuff. But laptop, now you're dialed in. So okay.
Yeah.
So is that all you're going to look at? Best screen?
Obviously, it needs to be good enough, like spec wise. So it's not all about the screen, but I will go around like PC World and I'll be like, who is making good screens now? I probably won't buy them ever.
I can tell you guys for a straight up fact, I did not look one little bit at the screen other than inches.
To you.
Yeah, no. Other than the inches that I see.
The real estate I've got to work with.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted one with a graphics card.
Yeah.
Good RAM. Good speed RAM as well, and good processor. And the one that got me a little bit excited. I looked at the ports as well, and what was I going to use it for?
Oh, we got HDMI.
I think every laptop's got HDMI this day and age.
Not Apple. Not Apple. They've been
but USB-C ports have evolved, haven't they, to be able to become. And obviously you got DisplayPort as a thing as well. So USB-Cs have kind of become the new everything port, where you can do data, you can do screens, you can do port extenders from it. So like USB-C has become the new
is it
everything port.
Yeah. It is now finally a universal port. Hopefully. Yeah.
And on that note, we have answered the questions we've done this week's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please message us in, share the podcast if you think it's good and other people would enjoy it. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.